The other thing I was going to say too is like, so we talk about the trips, is friends. Like how you got to find out how your partner acts in front of their friends.
Because, some people act
and
different.
family, but family, I guess too, because sometimes people will revert to a different version of themselves when they're around family, or
it can be triggering, so I get it, but
especially I think women need to see how a man treats his mother.
mm-hmm.
I think, right, just
in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if he doesn't treat her very well, red flag.
Right.
But obviously, if he's like too attached, red flag.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell if he like cares and like takes care of her without it being like overstepping your relationship, sort of.
And I think a guy should also see a woman's relationship with her father. I think that's important too. It's like, because it doesn't. I mean, if it's a bad relationship, then there can be some problems off of that. If she has I think for a man, like when he sees a woman interacting with her family, with her father, especially, if she looks up to her father, if she respects him, if she feels like he's a man, like, and if she treats him with that kind of authority or respect, that's a good sign, because that means that she probably respects a man. I mean, she's going to have a high standard for a guy, which is good, but it means that she probably respects him. But if she's totally disrespectful to her father, then you can expect that she's going to probably be totally disrespectful to you.
Right, because she's probably never ever respected a man in her life. So which, you also can't pick who you grow up with. So I'm not saying that there's women out there who maybe have a dad they don't respect, and they could still respect men, if they've interacted with good men. So it's not a for sure thing. Obviously, like, people need to use the knowledge that they have. But I agree with you that, like, I don't think I'd maybe break up with somebody, but it's a good indicator to like kind of see what could happen potentially.
Because you're getting like, when people are comfortable around, and they're usually comfortable around their friends and their family.
Right.
And that's the thing, is you want to see how this person reacts in situations where they're because they're on their best behavior, especially if it's a new relationship, right? Because they don't want to mess things up, or they might be infatuated with you to the point where they're acting differently because they're afraid of losing you, as opposed to what's going to happen when that goes, because that usually goes away.
Right.
To the point
you get more comfortable, and then now they're comfortable with you.
Right.
But now you're so far in that it's harder to leave for a lot of people.
Exactly.
Because they've spent so much time, they invested so much time, but now the person's changed, and you just really never saw them. So that's a good indicator.
And in front of the friends too, I think, is a big one too, because it's like
kind of like with kids, like how they act at home versus when they act when they're with their friends.
When they're showing off in front of their friends.
Right.
Like, exactly. And it's like, you get to see, because a lot of times people will, they might even be mean to their partner to like show how cool they are, like showing off in front. And that's like, they're right there. You get to see what choice they're making. Like, who are they really valuing
the most about?
More? Are they trying to look good in front of their friends?
Right.
Or they care about their partner? Or do they stop being affectionate in front of their friends too? Right. Yeah. It's like, oh, I don't want my friends to see that
Well, I struggle with affection too. And it's not that sometimes, which I'm not like totally not affectionate towards you. I think mine too is just, I hate people feeling like a third wheel or something. Or, like awkward around two people doing PDA, because we can be very affectionate. So I'm always like, what's an appropriate amount? And like, sometimes I feel like I hold back too much because I know how much I could be affectionate towards you. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to like scare people with like how affectionate we are, but you're always like, it's fine. Yeah. And it's just like, it's something that I'm learning.
I think it's fine.
To balance.
It's fine to be as affectionate as you want, even if other people are around, to your partner. You just have to be careful with the sexuality line. Right. That's where it's not, because no one's really going to be super uncomfortable if you're hanging on your partner, if you're, kissing.
Some people are, because they don't even maybe feel that with the person that they're with, or like they're like bitter because they haven't found somebody.
But that's not something you should cater to.
I know, but it's like, you know, I just think about all the people, but.
Yeah, but it's also not good for them because they're not seeing the example that they should be looking for.
Yeah.
So it's better for people. It's like even the same thing, like we've had talks about like with my daughter and stuff. And it's like, yeah, we want to be as affectionate as possible around so that she sees, because it's very easy to make the argument and say, oh, well, you know, don't want to make her feel bad or whatever. And it's like, but no, you want her to see this is how people who are married, who are in love, how they treat each other, and they, you know, because it's funny because even she was like, I don't know. Remember, she had that conversation with us. She's like, I don't know if I don't want to get married. I don't want to. You guys are just boring. You just
it's like you guys just like eat and go to bed, and we're like, no, we go on dates when you're not here because we want to spend time with you when you're here. Like, hello. You know, and she's like, oh, and we're like, yeah, you know, like it's a little different because we have our 50-50, but it's, you know, we spend the week with her, because we know we'll have a week to go on dates or, you know, do whatever we want to do, but, you know, and she sees us play Overcooked.
Yeah.
But I don't think she likes Overcooked, but, you know.
But have you ever had situations where people are different in front of their friends?
I mean, I'm sure I have, but it's hard because it's like you're not in that relationship, so you don't see them like go back, you know, but then you see the couple. I don't know, because sometimes too, maybe people act more affectionate in front of their friends to look like they're happier, and then at home they don't, you know?
They can put on the friendly.
So it's, you know, it's hard to like tell for sure if people are doing that, but I know what you mean, because I think that's why I mentioned the like kid thing, you know, how kids act different in front of their friends. Like at home, they like, you know, do what they're supposed to. But then when their friends are here, they're like, do you want to paint on the wall? And you're like, what? Like, no.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the drinking too can be a thing too in front of the friends too, right? It's like,
well, that's
go out with
drinking
someone.
In general. Yeah. If you're out with friends and stuff, they're going to enable you.
Yeah.
Like, that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
Like when I was single and I would go out with my friends, they would always try to get me to drink more. And I'm like, no. Like I never had a problem being like, no.
Yeah.
But they'd still try. And so it's like, you know, even if you're a couple too and you're going out with other couples and you're drinking, your friends are going to enable you.
Yeah.
And like try to be like, oh, go do this or like, you know, whatever. But, and then too, that can make you like more affectionate than normal because you're inebriated, and like that might not be for the right reason, or you know, I don't know, it's just all that kind of stuff kind of murkies the water of the relationship. But it is important to put yourself in these situations, the traveling, the seeing how people are around friends and family, living with each other, because that, like, I feel like you have to do those things in order to, like, really get a good grip on, can I marry this person?
Right.
And if you don't want to get married, then I guess, you know, do whatever you want to do. But even if you're just planning to stay in a long-term relationship, you still need to do those things before, like, to figure out if it is going to be a long-term relationship. So really everybody should be doing it, unless you're in a situationship or you know, you just started dating. Like, I'm not telling people to go to Mexico on the 4th date like we did. But, like, it is important because we've both been in situations where, you know, we've been on trips. And, I mean, luckily I was in one where immediately after the trip, during the trip, actually, I wanted to break up. But we had, like, 5 days. So I was like, and it was a 10-day trip. So I was like, I can't do this, obviously, here and now. Like, you know, I need to wait. But immediately after, I broke up with them. Like, it is a big deal. Like, it's...
Yeah, you find out a lot of information.
You do.
Better than perfect, we stand.